Okay, so we have the new notes. This section is called Properties. Section is 1.4 is called Properties. So we're doing different properties. That was a part that took you guys kind of a decent amount of time. And then we have its own section 1-5, which is just the distributive property. So we have the commutative property of addition. The order in which numbers are added does not matter. It doesn't matter because it doesn't change the sum. No, you're writing down as I write. Yep, you don't need a notebook this year. It doesn't matter because it doesn't change the sum. If we write it doesn't matter in parentheses, that's fine because that's the way that you might remember it better. But I do want you to write change the sum because that's the correct terminology. Change the sum. Complete this equation using the commutative property of addition. Now, it's not asking you to solve it. It's saying to complete it. Come on. There we go. Oh, that's scary. It's kind of scary. So what does it look like? What does 5 plus 3 become from the vocab, if you remember? Sydney. Beautiful. 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5. Yeah. I think we're a little bit beyond the 5 plus 3. Whoa, okay. However, the commutative property of multiplication, the way in which numbers are added does not change the product. The way in which numbers are added does not change the product. That's a weird looking way. Now, the commutative property of addition, we did something. The commutative property of multiplication, how do we change that one? 4 times 2, I agree with you. Salud. No, because the equal sign's right here. Yep, it's just saying that this guy is the same as this guy, and this guy is the same as that guy. The commutative property of multiplication. This guy, there's 2 guys. Oh, I didn't get it yet. The where are we at? The associative property of addition. The way in which addends, see that word there, addends? The way, that just means things that are put together. Okay? It's a shorter way to say things put together, addends. Addends are grouped, does not change the sum as well. Does not. Or if you're down with contractions, doesn't. Sorry. As I go get something out next door, see if you can figure out what that one might be. Complete the equation using the associative property of addition. Okay, think about the commutative property of addition, and think about what it said, how the way that they are grouped does not change the sum. Be right back. Funny thing is, on the video, you're going to hear Miss Lysakowski's voice for a second. Social studies, what? All right. Yeah, I'm recording this. Okay. Yeah. No, I have the mic on myself. I wouldn't do that. That would be, I wouldn't just leave a microphone and let 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds just, yeah. All right, moving along. I want to get you guys a couple minutes to do your homework, all right? No, I don't want to hear, no. All right, How about this? How many of you had this? Good. Do you guys have that? Good. Because remember, they're not asking you to solve it. They're saying use the distribute. It talks about above it. The way they're grouped together, it doesn't change the sum. Yes, sir.
Oh, I get it now.
The associative property of multiplication. All right, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. The way in which factors are grouped does not change the product. Does not change the product. Complete this equation using the associative property of multiplication. There we go. So, as it said, the way they're grouped doesn't matter. So, I'm just going to group 3 and 7 together. Because 3 and 7, they go well. It's actually my parents' address, 637. Yeah, you're welcome. It's only 300 miles away, so, you know. But I do get to see them on Sunday or Saturday. Okay. Does that make sense? See how it's just they're grouping together? It's multiplication. It's all multiplication. Doesn't matter. Okay, that's the associative property of multiplication. Got it? Good. So actually, I want you to circle something or underline something. I want you to underline group. Ew. I want you to underline grouped. For associative property and grouped here. I am grouped. Yeah.
That movie is awesome.
Yeah. Mr. Schutte didn't like it as much as he had hoped. I loved it. I thought it was great.
He was like, it's all.
Okay.
Rewind solo. First day I met
All right. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Let's continue. The identity properties, both addition and subtraction, and multiplication, have properties in which keep their identities. The identity property of addition added to 0 is the addend. The addend. So the sum of the thing that's put together and 0 is the thing that's put together. For example, 6 plus 0 is a crazy 6. Pretty. See, now here's the difference of kindergarten math. 6 plus 0 equals 6. Compared to pre-algebra, what you're doing is now you're seeing why. It's called the identitive property of addition. Okay? It's not just, this is how it is. Okay.
Well, that's how I learned.
Right, but now you're learning this is how it is, and here's why. And you're like, oh, I understand that now. My brain is more intelligent, so I can apply these thoughts and my information to other things. Because do you need to know this, you think, when you're done with high school?
No. Yes.
Okay? See, now that's kind of a trick question, but here's the bottom line. The identity property of addition, when you're done with high school, you might not even see that after next year. I'm telling you, you probably won't. Here's the difference as to why. It is about getting a deeper understanding and your brain getting stronger in a way. Okay? People who lift weights all the time, they get stronger. People who use their brain abstractly, they get smarter. That's the difference. Creativity, intelligence. It's not memorizing this so you'll use it when you're raising your third kid through college, right? In many years from now. Okay? You're not learning this to know, you're learning it to grow. I'm serious. So when am I going to use this? The rest of your life, just not exactly this form. Okay, is that a slap bracelet? What's that noise? No? Okay. Yes, sir. What is it? It's so you can apply the abilities. So you can apply the abilities of what you're doing to other things in life, not necessarily so you memorize the associative property of addition. Does that make sense? Okay, we need to keep going. Oh boy. Okay. The identity property of multiplication. The product of a factor and, well, let's do this. Let's do algebra. 6 times blank is 6. Good. 1. 1. It's easy. We're just making sure we're all understood and why. The product of the factor and 0 is 0. It is pretty epic.
Yeah.
The product of a factor and 0 is 0. You've known that forever. Just imagine how impressed the somebody else would be like, such and such times 0. Yes, that's a multiplicative. That's a multiplicative property of 0. It's like, great. Name the property below. I'm going to do the first one with you. Then I'm going to be coming around and checking your homework as you try a couple more. This one in particular is tricky. Okay? No. All right. So we have 22 times 1 equals 22. Which property is that? Please raise your hand. Let's see. It is McLean? Yes, sir. Now, I ran out of room, but I do want you to write it if you can fit it. The identity property of multiplication, and anybody who's watching the video, you can skip forward to when I start writing again. Muting the microphone. start writing it up here, what I have, and when you're done, you can look to see if you have. Yes, sir, Wolski.
It's like we repeat the same ones from the beginning.
I repeated. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do.
Yep.
I was worried.
All right. Salud. We have tissues up here if you need it. I'm abbreviating. If you don't know my abbreviations, ask me. But I'm just doing that because of size. That's the hungry bell. That's the hungry bell. Now, how many of you, well, more importantly, if you got one wrong, ask me if you don't know why. Yes. Letter D. Letter D is the associative property of multiplication because it is, let's see here. Let's pull that out. Because the factors are grouped. See how there's a group here and a group here? And then this one is grouped differently? Since they are grouped, and did you underline group? Yep. Because they're grouped together, that's why it's the associative property of multiplication. And that's why this one is not the associative property. This C is not the associative property because they're not grouped. They're just mixed around. Yes, sir. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for your question.
Yeah.
What's your question? F. Okay. I've got 8th graders coming back from lunch or whatever it is. All right, so F, 2 times 0, is a multiplicative property of 0 because if you look above it in the section, it says a product of a factor and 0 is 0. Cool. Let's see. AJ. It's just the computer. Yeah. Hmm? Yes. Is it scratching the record? All right. Next one. Distributive property. This one is its own section. The distributive property ties addition and multiplication. Oh, and I found a typo in the video I shot yesterday. I spelled exponents wrong. I spelled it expotent. Yeah, and they didn't. 7th period didn't. Addition and multiplication. Property ties addition and multiplication together. Now this one here is interesting, the way that we have to say these things. Okay? The expression that is read out loud in a certain way. You're going to read it how it is written. Okay? You're going to read it how it's written. So, the way that you do that is one of two ways. A times the quantity A times the quantity. What? A times the quantity. Yes, sir. Thank you, Nick. B plus C. A times the quantity of B plus C. That's how I read it, and you know me. Yeah. That's right. I'm a rhyming fool. Just don't make me teach language arts. Tyler. Yeah? Oh, that's just a barcode. That's just a barcode. I have a barcode tattoo on my whole back. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding. Some of you are like, A times the sum of B and C. B and C. I like that one more, but they're both correct. A quantity is just an amount. A times the sum of B and C. Often speak with cadence on the daily. You are all talking a lot more fast than some of you have written that. AJ. Interesting. Interesting. How about this one? I'm going to say 4 times the sum x plus 3. Or I'm going to say x and 3 because it talks about sum. X and 3. 4 times the sum x and 3. 4 times the sum of x and 3. That's an of. Ugh. Example dose. Now we have to say it how it's written. The sum of 4x and 9y. Is that it? We done? No, you have to add times 2. Last period we used purple. The sum of 4x and 9y times 2. I would like you to do those 4 now. Yep, you're going to do those 4. It does not involve any talking. And if you have questions, raise your hand. Yes, sir. Okay. You real quick. I'm going to read it. Here we go. For A, you should have this or something very close to it. 5 times the sum of x and y. That's fine. Yep, that's fine. You can, yeah. The sum of 3 and x times 4 is B. The sum of 3 and x times 4. Or you could have the quantity of 3 plus x times 4. That's fine. That's good. 8 times the sum of 3, or c and 3. 8 times the sum of c and 3, or c plus 3, or the quantity of c plus 3. D, the sum of 9 and 3f times 2. Any questions on those? Okay. Pretty easy stuff, right? You guys got this. You're smart. Good memories. All right. An expression is said to be in simplest form when it has no like terms and no parentheses. No like terms are whenever there'd be like a 1m and then a 15m somewhere in the expression. You need to put those two together. Okay? This one last period didn't do so well with. Let's see. What are the like terms in example 1? Someone raise your hand. Okay, we have Gavin. 16K and 5K. These two are like terms. So what do they become? 21K. All right, so we still have that plus 9. And then plus 21K? Yep. See how we did that? We combined like terms. All right, now, this one here was really tough last period. I think that this one may not have been pounded too much in sixth grade. What happens when this 5 is chilling on the outside of that parenthesis? Okay, you multiply it to what? Everything in there, right? Because since these guys are in a parenthesis together, that means that they're like a team. Okay, they want to stick together. And the thing is about team, they're like siblings maybe. If something happens to one, they're like, well, I didn't get 5. So n, so we'll do m, because that's out there, plus, we have to do 5 times n, and a squeaky door, plus what? Now, these guys here, remember, they're in a parentheses together, they're siblings, and the n's like, I got a 5, I got a 5, and m is like, 7m's like, I want a 5, I have a 5. Here. This 5 has to be also multiplied to the other guy in there because they're siblings, they're like, why, that's not fair. So what's 5 something 7m? Times. Good. 5 times, so that's 35m. Do we have any like terms here? We got rid of the parentheses. Now we have like terms. Nick? Good. M and 35m. So we're going to do 36m plus 5n. Got it? I'm going to do the first one, then I'm going to distribute the homework. Actually, I'll do E, A, sports. So I'll do the E. So first off, for E, do we have any like terms there that we can get rid of right off the bat? What do we got, Sydney? X and 5x. Beautiful. That becomes what? Good. 6x plus 8x plus 2. All right? So now we took care of stuff that's out of the way, but we still have to get rid of those parentheses. How do we get rid of those parentheses? We did it just upstairs. Raise your hand. Yes, Caleb. Not 6. That's an 8. Sorry. 6 times 8. No. Yes. 8 times x, because you got to go, I want an 8. And then 2's like, I'm jealous. So we have 6x plus 8x plus what? 16, yeah. 16. I'm going to break that down one more time just to make sure that you see what we're doing there. Whenever 8 is being multiplied here, you have to multiply that by 8. That sign stays. Then you also have to multiply that times 8, and that's how we got that guy. Yes, sir. There's 2 D's? Oh, yeah. Yep. So, do we have any like terms on this set? This one's 6x plus 8x plus 16. What is it, Sydney? 6x and 8x. Yes. 6x plus 8x equals 14x. Boy. Sydney and Caleb's backs must be hurting as much as mine right now because they're carrying you guys. I hope that you're getting it and you're just choosing to be chilling, because if you're not getting it, I can't get in your head. I need you to help me help you. Yes, sir. I'm getting your head. Thank you.